so much for having me. This space is so precious and so amazing that I just really hope that we all continue to cultivate this. Thank you to Circumstantial Saying, thank you to Coral Rights and Abstract Sam and Haskell Papati for doing this. This stuff is critical, and that's the next part of this story. The story is, yeah, that poet who didn't want to be around anybody, like, ended up realizing it was the fall of 2021, and I went to an underground poetry event. Saw Thundercat there, saw Sir Dominique, saw RG, saw Soul True, saw a bunch of people who were bringing up this poetry scene in Lancaster, and I realized how precious these are and how important these spaces are, especially when we see what's going on out there. Because what we have in here are spoken words, what we have out there are choking tourniquets. The words in here are too big for broadsides, too loud for the doors to stay open, and too true for 5-0 to even ever know to show up in revolutionary verses alongside resolution of verse, slow change rollers strolling their way through pre-approved assembly lines with nary neither these strings of thought calculating the softest whispers of dynamite. In between spending another week chasing sidewalk riffs for transient spirited intimations of critical connections, searching bodega melodies for an after-hours key to symphonies without summations and arias of love that refuse to add up, flipping mass transit rhythms into zigzag rhyme schemes, plotting underground paths between dreams of unforeseen strategies, out of the blue investigations, up from the sea deep insinuations reflecting collaborations that those motherfuckers never saw coming, full of spoken words, alongside their soaking tourniquets. Too tight for ambulance rides, too saturated to absorb more lies, too fire for fever dreams to even notice all the spoken word culturists, alongside radical endeavors and professors of spiritual, metaphysical, transcendental, literary, aggressively equitable liberation dedicated to a mission whose prerequisite seems to be missing the fine point of the big picture. See, we are nothing without words spoken, without stopping the bleeding with creative communion, without tightening down the tourniquet to choke off the dead spots that won't go away on their own. I saw a stage hold a poet. When rage finds a place, when anguish captured carefully in tough enough fabric of spontaneous moments can be something that's sewn in your soul back together. When a sage makes her space among anxious waking souls, beating hearts, floating both tender and determined and vengeful emotions, all together, trapped in ink below hands whose fingers can barely hold back from grabbing that pen up again, while they ring and consider, should I add new life to the list? When these happen, these free us. We bleed this. I saw a stage hold a poet speaking words true and hectic, wreaking havoc. The poet is an action, initiated by factions committed to more than just this moment, committed to being present as each one passes to the next, witnessing essential shifts. See, it matters existentially what concrete effervescence led to this, which words were spoke before the tourniquet cut us off. I saw a stage heal a poet, speaking verses distilled from stories still uncertain. I saw a feeling pass from one soul to the next, like a moment. We poet with patient urgency. We hold these truths because this is our currency. Speaking words alongside choking tourniquets while the temperature outside or in is too something for somebody walking blindly into coin slot decisions and straight breathing without vision. And if all we got, my friends, is writing about it, snapping, sheeshing, clapping, and occasional hooty-hooing about it, then at least we can say we saw a poet hold the stage, hold our soul gaze. And that we know what life was like before those words hit that mic, and then we witness the moment pass through the breath of unchoked verse. So we know how we got here, because in our heart, in our soul, or in some still unnamed strung out organ in our guts just woke, we can still feel the words that the poet just spoke.